Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and there's a new musical festival planned for October that many are worried could be the next Astroworld. That also got me wondering what's going on with Astroworld. It's time for an update. Before we get to that update, I want to break down this new festival. It's called When We Were Young, and it's an emo music lover's dream come true. Look at this lineup. My Chemical Romance, Paramore, Avril Lavigne, Bright Eyes, Dashboard Confessional. Jimmy Eat World was my favorite. That Clarity album is incredible. But look, this came out, and a lot of people were very excited about this. Thought, wow, this could be a great show. Then they saw that it was 65 bands over the course of one day. They also noticed that it was being presented by Live Nation, the same organization behind Astroworld. So a lot of concerns started coming up. Users all over TikTok and the internet were worried. 65 bands, 12 hours in the festival day, and there's 3 stages. If you do the math, it works out to 33 minutes and change for each band. Adding time frame breakdown, setups, etc. It just seems like so much can go wrong with this. Factored in the substantial ticket price, nearly $300, and no refunds. Some are predicting that When We Were Young will dissolve into a Fire Festival-style madness. Stages of elder emo, TikTok finding out about the When We Were Young festival, panic, excitement, signing up for pre-sale, realizing it's a logistical nightmare, way overpriced, and being put by the same people who did Astroworld, stage 3 grief. And of course, there's a question of Live Nation's involvement. The Live entertainment company, which is worth noting, has organized plenty of concerts and festivals that proceeded as planned. That's the first thing I was going to get to as well. Guys, they've done countless shows that have been popular. Again, that's why I was so leaning into Travis Scott. There's something about a Travis Scott show, as he says in his own words, that's all about the rage. And sure, there's some rage in emo, but it's not the same thing. So, look, should there be worry? I'm going to share you my concerns, but I do think a lot of this is overblown, and that's why I wanted to give you this report. There is definitely some worry as to whether this is going to be a scam or not. I think that's fair, and I'm going to get to that as well, because there's some bands that apparently didn't even know the full lineup and are worried about the setup now that they're learning more details. And there aren't refunds on the tickets, mind you, as well. They're adding more dates before seemingly confirming these bands' involvement further. But there's a lot here that, does share some concern for people. And some people may just not want to trust Astroworld, even though, to be fair, they have put together a lot of shows that ran okay. Look, Live Nation rather, put those shows together. Astroworld, however, did not. And Astroworld had a lot of other players involved. That's why I think it's not just Live Nation's fault. It is Travis Scott's fault. It's a lot of people's fault. That was his show. That's why it's so important we sort of demand that accountability from him. But ticket sales were there and have been selling out. They had to add 2 more shows and a third date with minor adjustments to the lineup. And so far they're sort of moving in as usual, planning to keep going with these insane ticket prices of $250, $400, and then VIP tickets for $500. Now, is this absurd? Is this unbelievable? Is this venue safe? All questions that I want to point out and answer for you. Before I get there, though, the organizers behind the festival have made a comment here. They finally did, because there were some concerns. A spokesman for When We Were Young Festival has said concert safety has been thoroughly planned. Here's the quote. The safety of fans, artists, and staff is thoroughly planned for among event organizers and is in coordination with local authorities, they told Newsweek. We have seen a lot of excitement around this festival, and we look forward to putting on an incredible event for all the fans this October. We encourage fans to check the festival website and socials for all the latest updates. So there you go. It's going to have multiple stages across the one-day event with different acts and headliners performing around the Las Vegas Festival ground. And it's important to look, the Las Vegas Festival ground has put on a lot of successful shows like this. Festivals with Metallica and Taylor Swift. I was doing the homework. A lot of stuff has gone fine at this venue. It's a big open venue, but obviously still that doesn't stop people from speculating and wondering, is this safe? I want to play this clip from Fox 5 because they sort of break down a lot of the information, but they do get into more of the bands that have spoken up in confusion about this event, which to me is a little bit of a red flag here.
From your MySpace top 8 to the
Let me get to this part here.
$125. But wait a second. Are 65 bands really playing in just 12 hours on only 3 stages? How will their sets all fit? We reached out to Live Nation to learn how this will affect set times or scheduling, and they didn't respond for an interview by our deadline. This Twitter user is worried it will limit the time length of his favorite artists' sets, and even some of the festival's booked artists seem shocked. This frontman of band Mayday Parade said Tuesday, "The only info I knew when we agreed to play was that My Chemical Romance was playing. Today I saw the full lineup, shocked emoji." And this booked artist Instagrammed that she literally found out when we did and is just as surprised as we are. The All-American Rejects tweeting Tuesday, "Apparently we're playing with all the bands, ...
When you're seeing statements like that coming from artists, it's like, okay, did they just throw every band they possibly could up to see how many people would pay $225 for these tickets, and then see who would actually commit to it after ticket sales?
Then there are safety and morality concerns. The event is presented by Live Nation and their subsidiary C3 Presents, the same combo behind Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival fiasco in Houston, where a crowd surge left 10 people dead and hundreds injured. This viral TikTok shows one music fan's series of reactions. But When We Were Young's website says details on the festival entry process will be available in early September 2022. The safety of fans, artists, and staff remains our top priority, adding, "We want every fan to feel safe at the festival. Specific questions regarding safety, security, medical, and any others can be directed to info@whenwewereyoungfestival.com."
Now, look, there's a lot of obviously news. We'll jump into the fear. And I think the fear is valid in this, to be perfectly blunt. I mean, after what just happened, a lot of people are really disturbed and still trying to deal with what happened in the events of Astroworld. Now, there's been some other pieces, though, that as I've done my homework, that do reiterate, like, look, this isn't necessarily an abnormal thing. As this Forbes article puts together, Las Vegas Festival Ground is on 37 acres, the southwestern corner of Sahara. This is a location where Rock in Rio played in a 2-day event with headliners like Taylor Swift, Metallica. It's where Amazon held its Impact Festival with headliners like Foo Fighters and Casey Musgraves. The Las Vegas Festival Ground is easily accessed, level, rectangle with tens of thousands, where tens of thousands can move easily within the event grounds, and at least 4 separate stages were built for the prior festivals which took place there. Pricing ranged from $250 to $520 for VIP. That is not at all different from what the Park MGM gets when Bruno Mars plays his 2-hour shows there. When Adele put her tickets on sale for Weekends with Adele, the demand was unstoppable at any price. When We Were Young has scheduled, which runs from 11 to midnight, providing 13 hours of entertainment. How can bands play all that time? They're ill-informed. Each stage can be set up as a turntable with bands coming up next loaded onto the back half of the stage behind the screen, then rotated to the front with downtime of less than 15 minutes. There are many other ways, all long tested and proven in the annual Christmas shows or the iHeart events, which have multiple bands all play sets, which are only 5 or 8 songs long. 13 hours of festival time across multiple stages is not only doable, but also not particularly hard, so long as there are enough roadies on site to move the equipment and plug in the gear. Post-Astroworld environment remains a reasonable concern. Any large-scale open-field event, if anything, I would believe Live Nation-backed event would be more secure because of the lessons taken from the tragedy in Houston. Now, it's a good point. Usually when, the kitchen gets a bad grade, they have to upgrade, clean everything else more than ever to make sure that it's even cleaner than before. You would hope they would do that because they're under a huge, microscope and scrutiny right now. And look, should Live Nation be shut down? I don't know. I need more information, right? They definitely need to be held accountable, and somebody needs to be held accountable at that organization, and they need to pay the fines or whatever else they're going to need to pay for that event. But should they forever be gone? No, I don't know. I need to hear more, and that's why this investigation and all the cases are important to see what actually happens. Should it mean that Live Nation can never do a show again? I mean, I think they need to make sure that they're doing the shows better. And we should have some more open clear visibility on how that is and how we can feel safe and how they're maybe not selling as many tickets for that purpose. To hear these shows sold out, what does that mean? How many people are going to be there? Are they actually going to step up and hire the proper amount of staff and roadies, as this person says? All of those are the fair things. I think we need to have our eyes on this to see, does Live Nation do this wrong? Because if they mess this up again, and something else goes wrong, then it's more on Live Nation than anybody else. And I don't think they're going to... Look, I don't like these big corporations like Live Nation, but my God, that would be insanely stupid of them to not make sure everything is on the up and up twice or 3 times more than usual for the first event back after such a tragedy. Just my 2 cents. The event particularly also mentions that I pointed out earlier, that event at Astroworld had a particularly aggressive crowd. Professionals have built security plans are tuned to disruptive behaviors and will almost certainly be faster to eject those whose actions jeopardize the safety of the others in accordance with the Metro Police. There you go. So look, it looks like it'll be fun. I do know people might events by naysayers, but people got tickets. Demand was so strong, promoters had a second day. Entire event is repeating plays first and Saturday and Sunday. Look, eyes are on this event. I hope they do it safely. We'll see what happens. It does seem like it's all possible. Everything that they're doing isn't like abnormal. The crowd that will show up to this, I imagine, isn't going to be like rage. They're not going to be groomed to do that. So in theory, this could be a fine, safe show. I think concert goers and the artists themselves are going to be very mindful to encourage and be careful of crowds going nuts. So if anything, I imagine this will go on okay. Now, to me, again, that's why I focused a lot of my ire on Travis Scott himself, because I feel like he created the environment in a place that wasn't organized as properly as it should have. They're all responsible. Does that mean it can't be organized better by other people in the next one, or we have more security and people there to ensure it doesn't get to that level? Yeah, right, in theory. But we also still need to demand accountability from that company. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. As for where Astroworld is right now, what's the update? Well, the FBI has been involved. About a week or 2 ago, the FBI stepped in to help the Houston police. Here was the comment that they said. Houston police detectives have already viewed countless hours of video in our ongoing investigation to ensure that we have captured all possible evidence for a complete investigation. We have partnered with the FBI for additional technical assistance. The FBI has created a website where the public can upload any photos or video taken at the concert venue. Specifically, we are seeking any photos or video of the main venue area from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. The website to upload your photos is fbi.gov/Astroworld. Houston Police Department continues to lead this investigation, and we appreciate the assistance from our federal partners at the FBI. That didn't get a lot of traction, but that's what's happening late. They're still figuring that out. And then he has posted himself, Travis, 3 weeks ago after New Year's, a post, and then a day, also always photo of him. And then Kylie also sort of made a statement 3 weeks ago around New Year's. As 2022 is approaching, I've been reflecting on this last year and the blessings that it brought, but also the many heartaches it held. I will never forget this year and all the significant changes it made to my life. I pray this new year is filled with a lot of love for all of you and hope everyone stays safe and healthy during this time. Those are the last statements we've seen from either of them. And the investigation is still going. Obviously, still a lot of lawsuits on deck. And he was removed from Dior, which was interesting because they stood by Johnny Depp. However, it does seem like both Dior and Travis together realize this is not a good time to be selling some product. He acknowledged that, and good on Dior to at least seemingly speak to him first. I like them as a company because they don't just seem to cancel people, but the look of this new fragrance and stuff going out while all this is still being investigated wouldn't have been a good look for either Travis nor the company. So I didn't see that as a huge, like, we're denying you. No, I think they did the right thing, both of them. But that's the update. That's where we go. What do you think of this festival? Are you concerned? Do you feel like there's just a lot of panic happening? Are you worried it's a scam? Could some of these bands end up pulling out? Probably not the major ones. You'd think they would have signed them in pretty good, locked them in pretty good. Maybe some of the smaller ones didn't get as much intel because they didn't need to know. But what do you think about this? Are you going to go? Would you go? Is what my main question is. Would you feel safe to go to this festival? I want to hear your comments down below. In the meanwhile, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell for all alerts and leave your comments and concerns down there. We'll be live today around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll have the link up soon, so look for it here at Popcorn Planet. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more.